His daughter here being dragged through the hedge backwards again today, definitely today, as you can see. I thought I'd just do it because it was nice and sunny this morning, so I thought I'll go ahead and do it. So, and then I put the washing out, and then I did everything else in the house. Simba, will you stop licking yourself? Honestly, it's disgusting. So licking is what's it. Naughty boy. Simba, please. Simba. Simba. He never listens to his mother, honestly. It's like having a bloody teenager in the house. He never listens. But anyway, so hope you're all okay, and thank you for watching my videos. And if you've been having a giggle and a laugh over them, that's fine, all well and good. At least it takes your mind off your worries for about 2 seconds or 2 minutes or however long you watched me. But anyway, so as you can see, I still haven't changed that. Or you can see the TV. What's on the TV? I still haven't changed this, as you can see. At the moment, watching Heart to Heart is on, just catching up on the 80s and whatever. But anyway, so I don't know if you've noticed or read on the news or online about this Gender Recognition Act. It's for trans people, basically. It is a heck of a journey to do, to actually go through the process. I've done a video of it before. It's about 18 pages, and it's like 18 pages to fill it. You don't have to fill all of it in. I think it's about 3 pages you don't. And then there's 18 pages for you to fill in, and there's about 38 pages to explain why you have to fill them in. So it is a lot for a person to do, and the amount of stuff that they want in order to come to a decision is astronomical, and of course, and they say, well, don't send too much stuff because we won't need it all. But if you don't send it all to them, they'll get back to you, and then you have to wait another few months in order to get your certificate, your gender reassigned birth certificate back. So. So I'm just moving my feet. I'm just getting that. But anyway, so it's just ridiculous, isn't it? So, but on the news, one of the things was that Theresa May did say in 2016 or 2017, I think it was, in the newspaper called the Pink News. Yes, we have our own newspaper, people. Yes, the Pink News. Yes, we used to have the Gay Times as well. I don't know if that's still going on. Gosh. That was a long time ago, that was. Well, there you go, hey ho. But anyway, yes, so she said that one of the things for her office to do when she was in situ, in residence as it were, was to basically have a look at the Gender Recognition Act and change it and everything. And but they haven't done it because she left and Boris Johnson's there now, so that's been pigeonholed and have to wait. Do you know? So all these politicians come out with so much stuff that it's hard to believe them most of the time, isn't it? But anyway, so oh right, I'm on the Stonewall. I'm on the Stonewall website at the moment here. On my laptop, and Stonewall is a charity for LGBTQ plus people. So it's been going on for decades and decades and decades. And there you go. Right, the UK government consultation on the Gender Recognition Act closed on 22nd of October 2018 after gathering testimonials for 16 weeks. Tens of thousands of people took the opportunity to improve trans rights by having a say on reforming the GRA. Right. Together we showed that Stonewall supports the reformed Gender Recognition Act that requires no medical diagnosis or presentation of evidence of trans people to get their identity legally recognised, recognises non-binary identities, and gives all trans people, including 16 to 17-year-olds, the right of self-determination through a much simpler and more streamlined administrative process. So, I don't know about the requiring no medical diagnosis or presentation of evidence for trans people. That, personally, to me, is a kick in the face for us that have fought hand and claw to get to where we are today, and to actually get anyone to actually say, all right, fine, I want to be non-binary, or I want to be a trans woman or a trans man or trans girl or trans boy, so I'm going to have my certificate changed without no medical diagnosis. I think is wrong. You can't diagnose non-binary, but you can diagnose the trans person, and I still think that they should still have some medical input about somebody being trans, because, like I said, it is a kick in the teeth for those trans people that came before us, that's fought, like hand and foot and claw and teeth and everything to get to where we are today, and then just saying all this, so it requires no medical diagnosis, which I think is wrong. But there you go. The Gender Recognition 2004 governs how trans people can have their identity legally recognised. This was groundbreaking in its time. It's now seriously out of date and needs reform. Oh yeah, I totally understand that it does need reforming, because, like I said, the stuff that we have to do. Is it here next to me here? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. This is it. Yes. Recognition Act 2004. Yeah, it's right here in front of me, and this is guidance and the actual application itself. Sorry, I lie, it is 16 pages, not 18 pages, so I do apologise. And this one is 24 pages for the guidance on doing it. So I have done a video on this before, so I'll be faffing about later. So if I can put a link on there about that video about the Gender Recognition Act certificate thingy, form thingy, I'll put it on there. If not, just browse through, really. But anyway, at the moment, trans people have to endure a long and demeaning process to prove their gender identity. It's not just distressing, it's complex, costly, and inaccessible to many trans people. Yes, it is costly. I don't think it's too distressing. I think it's distressing for those that for those of us that want to forget about our past. I don't want to forget about my past. I said in the last video, my past is my future, my present and my future. What I did in my past. But anyway, a consultation is the process of the government gather feedback on proposed changes, blah, blah, blah. When all the evidence has been gathered, the government usually issues a response. They say how they've taken what's been said in the response into account and what their next step are going to be. Tens of thousands of you have responded, blah, blah, blah. We hope that the voices, the support everyone showed. That's right, okay. Yes, so, see, now, it is a difficult thing to talk about, really, because it is a very, very sensitive issue, and for majority of trans people that I know, they find it very sensitive that they had a past as being another gender. See, I was assigned boy, I was assigned male at birth, and I stayed like that up until I was about 45, 46, until I started the home. So I started them decades before that anyway, but that was another story, and it was a bit under the table, so we won't talk about that. And I would not advise it to anybody, because it can make you ill, because you don't know, because you have blood tests beforehand, and they work from there to tell you how much hormones to take, and to carry on taking for the rest of your life. So and people don't seem to realise, they seem to think now that I have the surgery that I don't need hormones, but yes, I do, because if I stop taking my my hormones, schlepping it on my arms or my legs, my boobs will disappear, and I do not want that. Never. But anyway, so never. Right, legally, how many genders are there? So for the Recognition Act thingy, which personally a part of it, yes, definitely. It can be very distressing for a lot of trans people, and that bit there, yeah, that's fine. But think about the non-medical diagnoses. I personally think it's wrong, because that were open. And as a trans woman, I'm saying this, and I get hate mail for this, and I really don't care, because somebody has to say it, and I'm saying it as a trans woman that lives a life that it could open up a floodgate of people pretending that they are one gender, whereas they are not. They don't suffer from genders, they are not trans, which scares me somewhat, because I've heard about a couple in Plymouth, actually, 2 of them from Plymouth, which has surprised me. One of them I was friends with on Facebook. She always poo-pooed everything, and she said not everything, because I said, and I still say this to this day, a lot of trans people aren't happy with who they are after the surgery, because they think that as soon as they have the surgery, everything's going to be hearts and flowers and white picket fences around your little cottage and everything. But it's not like that at all. The crap that you had before surgery is still going to be there. Your home's still going to be your home. Your friends are still going to be your friends. The only difference is the way that you are towards yourself. You're much happier, but it takes time to click in and everything. So I was just watching an espresso machine on the TV. I do apologise. Isn't that naughty? I should turn the TV off while I'm doing this, but no, the kids watch it. I know it sounds silly, but Zena does really watch the TV. But anyway, going back to all this, saying about the surgery and a lot of I can't talk about trans men or trans boys, because I don't know. I really don't know. And I know a few trans people, trans guys. I think I know about 4 or 5, which and you know, and they have been very open, and you know, and been very kind and nice to me, which surprises me, because a lot of trans women aren't nice to me, because I don't know why. I really don't know why, because I'm just me, and but hey, that's their problem. And like I was saying, they automatically think that, and this will automatically think that as soon as you have surgery, if you're going to go down that route, that everything's all hunky dory and everything's going to be like Snow White, with little birds chirping around your head and helping you with the housework. No, it's not going to be like that. It's going to be exactly the same. But number one, for about 2-3 weeks, you won't be able to move around anyway. So, what the hell's birds around the house? You know, let them shit everywhere. Do you know what I mean? But and the second thing is that it's not like that. It changes. It's your attitude that changes. Not it's your attitude towards everything around you that changes. You yourself change. Not everything around you changes. You yourself change. And this goes to the 2 trans women that one I knew on Facebook that kept saying, "Oh no, it's not that easy, blah blah blah. It's not what it's cut out to be." And I'm there going, "But of course it is. If this is what you really wanted." And it transpired about 2 years ago. It transpired. You might have seen it in the newspapers. There was a big hullabaloo about a trans woman being sent back to prison because when she was male, she was sent down for raping her 12-year-old daughter when she was male. So, and even though and I reckon personally, I think that she changed gender. She became a trans woman thinking that all that would leave, if you know what I mean, all that feeling of towards children would leave. But it's not that easy, is it? No. If it was that easy, then get all of them to bloody cut all their dicks off, you know. But it's mostly in the mind more than anyone else. So, but anyway, so and she was sent back to prison because of her parole. One of the things with the parole, she was not allowed to be anywhere near children under the age of 16, I think it was, or 18. But she had got herself involved with a pregnant woman who also had a 4-year-old child. So of course, she got sent back to prison for 9 months, 9 bloody months, you know. So for ruining a 12-year-old's life, really. Which, don't get me started and all that. I worked with children that were sexually abused, and Do you know? And people say, oh, it doesn't affect them. Believe me, it affects them. No matter how old they are, it affects them. Believe me. I worked with 3-year-olds that have been sexually abused, and the stuff I saw was unbelievable. It was heartbreaking. But anyways, and I don't want to dwell on it because it really upsets me. But anyway, so that was one. And then another one, she got arrested for actually child porn and taking photos of children. I don't know if she went as far as she was sexually abusing a child. I can't remember, but it's bad enough having child porn because it's basically, it's like them abusing the child anyway. So you know. But anyway, so that's that. That was that, and that's what worries me a little bit, because anyone then can just turn around and say, oh, okay, you know, so I want to be Mrs. I want to be Ms. Jones tomorrow, so I'll go. I know it's not that easy, and it never will be that easy, but you know, so I know it's not that easy. You can't say, oh, right, tomorrow I'm going to be Ms. Jones and then just have it. But personally, I still think that they do need at least one medical diagnosis to say, yes, we think that this person does suffer from gender dysphoria, and either they are, you know, it doesn't matter if they want to go the whole hog and go on hormones or anything. It does not matter, because at the end of the day, it's who you are. If you want to be, if you want to, if a man wants to live as a woman without having the surgery and everything like that, then go ahead, as long as it's legal and that's what you really want, then it's okay. But hey, who am I? So how many legally recognised genders are there? Let's have a look. Right. Well, the classification is 3 categories: male, female, and gender diverse. What are the 4 genders? Let's have a look at them. Right, it is popular in 2019 to distinguish between sex and gender, claiming that while there are 2 sexes, there are unlimited number of genders, as gender is more mental and mind construct than a physical and genetic one. But having unlimited gender renders the classification meaningless. Right, so let's have a look and see. The same number that exists throughout history, infinite. Gender fluid, neutral, fucked, queer has existed since the 60s and 70s. There are several places with more than 2 genders, 2 spirits, a native gender, which has been with the North American Indians culture, been like that. And I have touched on it before, I'm sure I have, about an American, North American Indian person that was, I'm saying person because they were assigned male at birth, but they dressed in the female squaw attire, and they met Queen Victoria. Right, comes to mind. The Talmud mentions 6, and it's about as old as the Christian Bible. Side note, both were compiled around 400 or 500 years ago, though the Talmud accepts and expects additional commentary. The Talmud first started being discussed around 70 AD, the destruction of the Second Temple. It takes us that long to agree on, well, anything, especially if it's to be codified. Gender has some number greater than 2 for a long, long time. This is not a new trend. It's not just teenagers being weird or special snowflakes. This is real. So the answer is infinite. But that answer has been the answer for longer than Christianity has been around. Right, so technically 4, it says here. So somebody answered in July 15. The rest all fall under general term umbrellas. Binary man, which is cis men and trans men, cis men or cis women, basically is you were born, you were assigned to that gender or that sex, that gender basically, whatever. Yeah, cis men is you were assigned male at birth, so, and trans men. Binary woman, cis women, and trans women. Non-binary are general terms for everything that is literally not a binary man, binary woman, or two-spirit. This could be demi-boy, demi-girl, gender fluid, trans-masc, trans-femme, etc. Two spirits, also written as the two and then spirit. An indigenous people's gender identity that existed long before the white man came to Turtle Island. Someone who quite literally had two spirits within their bodies, one of a man and one of a woman. Although we were present as one, the other, or change between the two, we were always two spirits. And they thought that the people of two spirits were the bridge between earth and heaven, as it were, or God, between human and God, between men and God. So let's have a look. Right, okay, here we go. So just 63 genders. Right, okay. This is, are there really 63 genders? How is it possible to have multiple genders? Google searches tell me there are 63 genders. Facebook gives you 58 gender options. Are there really that many genders? How can women be tri-gender? They are not genders, they are labels. These are only that many because they are repeating themselves. Take a duck, for example. I'm reading this out here for quora, it's quora. If you want to have a look at that. Take a duck, for example. Imagine there's one duck. Imagine you are given a drop-down list of things to label this duck as. You have ones that are irreverent, like ball, yogurt, lizard, and trash can. There is also duck. But there's also thing, animal, bird, winged thing, bird that can fly, animal with wings, mallard, winged mallard, waterfowl, and duckling. It goes on, breathing creature, alive thing with skeleton and feathers, thing with feathers and wings, thing that makes sounds, birds that make sounds, things with skeleton that quacks, and on and on and on, seemingly going on for eternity. All of these labels apply except for contradictory ones like bird that can fly and duckling. You can easily rack up 100 labels depending on what's available and how they're phrased. If I was given 100 different gender labels, dozens may apply, but I would probably only choose man. This is the guy that's written here. So, for instance, I'm a trans man. Trans man is not a gender, but it is available from the gender setting and would fit me if I chose to use it. Similarly, I am a FAB. That means assigned female at birth. Pretty much a given fact since I am a trans man. AFAB is not a gender either, but it would be the kind of label available in gender settings. With these three things, there are already so many labels to pick from: man, trans, trans man, AFAB, AFAB man, AFAB trans man. That's 7 already, and it does not, and it only goes up exponentially. Minus contradictory labels like AFAB, AMAB, which isn't a thing. AMAB, assigned male at birth. Well, why not? If it's assigned female at birth, having that as a label, why not have AMAB, assigned male at birth? So I could say I'm an AMAB trans woman, or AMAB trans, AMAB asexual sapiophilic. That sounds horrible. Doesn't it sound like a disease? But it's not. A sapiophile is interested in intelligence. So anyway, I have only one gender identity, but because of the language actively involving and lesser known words are being brought into the light for inclusivity, just in case, you get this list of base words for me, and this is for this trans man or man or this guy, whichever way you want to see him. Looks like he uses the pronoun him and he and everything. I only have one gender identity, but because of the language, blah, blah, blah. Man, masculine, transgender, FTM, which may basically mean female to male. AFAB, as you know, assigned female at birth. Trans, F2M, with genderqueer, binary, trans man, trans man as in one word, trans man as in two words, trans man, trans masculine, and that's not all I could think of by far, and I'm just one person. It is good to know that these terms, what these terms mean. Is it good to, well, yeah, of course it is. You know, it's, you have to know what they mean, because otherwise they're not going to make any sense, are they? So, well, yeah, it's more important than knowing the names, types, stats, and move sets of 200 plus Pokemon, or the names, usernames, zodiacs, typing quirks, social class, relationships, and associated colours of a minimum of 12 Homestuck characters. Oof. Or the ability to perfectly quote an entire classic movie from memory, which is something people don't seem to have a problem with. The labels aren't even individually unique. If you know what trans means and you know what a man is, it won't confuse you for someone to say trans guy or transgender man. Even if those are unique terms, they mean the same thing and can easily be inferred through context. So the amount of discrete, unique, meaningful labels available in a list of 50 is going to always be a lot less than 50. If trans and non-binary identities are the real problem causing your confusion, I don't know what to tell you. But the male-female oversimplification is a lie, and it's been hurting everyone, including cis people, for a long time. For the layman, here's a comprehensive list of gender categories, not sexes, not gender representation. Mostly / all man, masculine. Mostly / all woman, feminine, and I'm neither. Mostly all somewhere between the two, androgyny. Mostly all genderless, agender, none of the above, e.g. gender fluid, third gender, etc. But I don't understand the third gender. I really don't understand that, but there you go. That's 5. That's more than most people need to most of the time. Anything more than that is just going to specific details or adding in irrelevant information like surgical status, gender assignment, sexuality, or genitalia. Stuff that isn't actually a gender at all. Trans people and those that study us have many more terms we use to describe more complex topics based on these. But using them for high-profile sites like Facebook without any explanation, intelligence, or discrepancy causes the problem we see before us today. And that problem is that people say, all right, I want to be, like I keep saying, I'm a sapphire. I've been saying that for decades, well, for a long time, that I'm a sapphire because I found that word and thought, well, and that word's lovely anyway. So it's really love sapio. It's like sapping, it's like taking intelligence, learning all the time. And I'm always like that. So people might go, you know, but as you all know, I've started my criminology course last weekend, so, and I'm really enjoying it. So I'm too far ahead at the moment, so I'm just having a little hiatus at the moment to calm down a bit and do it like they say, step by step. Right, it's like asking your mum to pass you dihydrogen monoxide, whatever that is. It's not necessary, and only makes it seem like there are strange things going on when all you want is a glass of water. Maybe you say it like that on purpose to look smart. Maybe Facebook is being a shallow performative ally. Anything's possible. But these lists of 50 plus are detrimental for a simple gender option on a website, especially one that facilitates custom write-ins in the first place. It would be easier and frankly less bullshit if they just got rid of the drop-down altogether and slapped a trans flag on it for solidarity. How can a bird be green? Blah, blah, blah. Life is weird. We don't know why either. It just happens. Hope that helps. Please give me bigotry in the comments if you hate trans people. Positive, if you've impressed with that. Since this answer gets a lot of traffic, I'd say I would revise the proposed gender categories to split into up multigender, bigender, gender fluid, etc., and third genders, xenogenders, non-Western genders, etc. Honestly, to make 6 overall categories. I didn't do this initially because multigender subsystems aren't genders in themselves and are hard to place. Well, yeah. So, and I agree with him because there are only 5 as 5 genders and then derivatives of. And I've always said this. It's always a derivative of, but people don't listen. They just go, no, you're just taking the mickey. And I've always said that there's basically there are 5 genders, as you heard there, and everything else is just a derivative of that. So hey, who am I? I'm not a doctor or anything like that. I just read and I just do. Do you know what's the difference between feminism and seeking gender equality? That's a topic for another video. Anyway, look, it's 30 minutes, so say bye-bye. Thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, share whatever you want, and whoever you want, if it helps them in any shape, way, or form, all well and good. And if it makes you just have a giggle for 5 seconds, then that's all well and good as well. I've just had enough of that gender thing now, so it boggles, you know, if it boggles my mind, goodness knows what it's doing to people out there that don't have to, that I don't, Zena, thank you, Zena, oh, honestly, that don't have, you know, that aren't in that category, as it were, that in the LGBTQ camp, as it were, under the umbrella. So they just don't. Zena, thank you. Honestly, they just don't listen. They're not listening at all today. Now go and lie down. Go on. But anyway, so thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And if you think that my ideas on this, especially with the Gender Recognition Act, it just makes a mockery, I think, of what we've been through in the past and everything, to make it so easy to just say, right, fine, I'm trans, and with no medical diagnoses, which I think is personally wrong. But you know, everything else that you apply for, you have to have a medical diagnosis, and so why not this? Because it is a medical thing. So. And it's like, oh, we don't know, blah, 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 whatever. Do you know what? I've been through it, and I'm going through it now. So tell me something I don't know, people. Okay. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Love to you all. And I'll speak to you in the next video. Bye-bye.